Hello, I'm Dr. Brandt Gibson, and today we're going to continue with our discussion of peripheral neuropathy, but we're going to take a big step back and start at the beginning again and go to some of the basics to help you further understand peripheral neuropathy and the peripheral nerve cell. So what we're going to do is look at the cell itself and kind of give you a basis that you learned at one point. You learned in elementary school or junior high or high school biology, and you got some basics on what the cell is. And so we're going to point out some key points so that we can actually discuss what they are and what they're used for. So if I can get this so you can see it. So this is the animal cell. You've got the cell membrane on the outside, which is important. You have the Golgi apparatus. You have the ribosomes and the smooth endoplasmic reticulum and the rough endoplasmic reticulum right here, and the nucleus. Nucleus, of course, is where everything is controlled and managed. It's almost like the brain of the cell. The Golgi apparatus is a complex of vesicles and folded membranes, as you can see, all the folds right through here, that's really involved in the secretion and transport. So it creates little vesicles so that it can transport to other areas of the cell. The endoplasmic reticulum, whether it's smooth or rough, involves ribosomes and usually has ribosomes attached. This membrane sits in the cell as well, but it's designed to help in the creation or in the making of proteins so that it can actually make all the things that need to be done. For example, in a nerve cell, it would be making the neurotransmitters that are released by the cell. And ribosomes are specifically involved in that process. So a ribosome really binds messenger RNA and transfers RNA for synthesis of polypeptides and proteins. Okay. So you got the Golgi apparatus, which is for transport, intracellular transport. You got the ribosomes, which are for the making of proteins. Endoplasmic reticulum, which is a membrane coming off the nuclear membrane for protein synthesis and lipid synthesis. So, and then the last part, and I don't know if we pointed that out to you or not, is the mitochondria. The mitochondria, which is going to be right here, is one of them. I believe they have it marked somewhere, but I can't see the marking at the moment. So the mitochondria, what it does is it's basically controls the respiration and energy for the cell. It's the most important part of that cell because it gives it the energy. It actually allows it to have all the nutrients and so forth that it needs to communicate. So that's the normal cell. And all of our cells are actually come in that form. But we talked about this a little bit last time, a little while ago, but this is the nerve cell. Again, you got the cellular membrane, you got the nucleus, you've got the ribosomes, you've got the endoplasmic reticulum, which they just have marked as ER, rough ER, and smooth ER. And then you've got the Golgi apparatus over here. And if you remember, they all have their distinct parts, and they actually have the very, very similar functions in the nerve cell. The difference is that some of the proteins and lipids that are being created are the neurotransmitters. So you've got the nerve cell, which is similar to other cells, but you also have the dendrites that can bring communication from outside the cell into the cell, and you've got the synapse here, or the axon that is going out, so that you can as you look at that, you say, okay, I've got a dendrite and an axon coming off the cells, and what they're doing, and at each one, they're going to come to a synapse, so they're actually communicating with other cells. And in that area, as it shows right up here, in that area, you're going to be releasing neurotransmitters that are going to be received on the other end. So it is very, very important that the ribosomes are working like they're supposed to, that the endoplasmic reticulum is actually performing its function, that the Golgi apparatus is doing what it's supposed to be doing, so that overall, between all of these pieces, the cell is functioning like it's supposed to. The only way that can happen is if the mitochondria are working like they're supposed to. And a mitochondria can actually be damaged. When a mitochondria is damaged and not working like it's supposed to, the communication is interrupted because you don't have the energy to make the proteins, make the neurotransmitters. And if you decrease the amount of neurotransmitters, you decrease the communication. And that way, you end up having some of the symptoms of peripheral neuropathy. So this is Dr. Brandt Gibson, and this is your Neuropathy Nugget, day 31. We just talked to you about the nerve cell itself. As a cell, it has all the similar functions to an animal cell, but there are distinct characteristics that we need to understand so that you can understand why you have peripheral neuropathy. So have a good night.